Alright, what's up guys, it's Cars, and welcome back to another not so fortunate video. Now, I'm always happy to be making a video, but for today, I mean, first of all, the lighting and the scenario and the situation that we're in, it's just like kind of shitty. I wish I was outside making a video, but I wanted to get a video out for you guys finally, after like a long 2 weeks of a lot of things going on and happening. I wanted to get a video out because it's been quite a while, it's been a minute. And I also just wanted to update you guys on the Mach 1, which is obviously what this video is going to be about, as you guys could probably see by the title. And basically, you guys know that a lot of times I've said, like, oh, the Mach 1 has had better days or seen better days or whatever. And the main reason for that is because, you know, the car's got 111,000 miles on it currently. And there's going to be things, whether it be wear and tear or major problems or little problems that go wrong on a car, any car that has a good amount of miles on it. No car is going to be perfect till 350,000 miles. And so a lot of times I'm like, yeah, the Mach 1 has seen better days. And the main reason behind that is just little wear and tear things and little fun projects almost that I can do myself, fix up the car and get it running good again. Now, for today, unfortunately, the piece of news, or the sad piece of news I have for you guys, is that the Mach 1, for lack of better words, has seen much better days. And basically, without further ado, I guess, or without further putting it off, yeah, I have to tell you guys what's happened. And basically, there's no really way to say, because I don't know exactly what's wrong with the car, but as of right now, the Mach 1 is pretty inoperable, and we might think the motor has blown, and we're not exactly sure, again, what's wrong with it. Our main guesses is either a head gasket, piston rings, or we don't really know, because basically what's happening with the Mach 1 right now is that it's running really rough, like it's half the time it dies. It's burning through a lot of oil, like I mean like a ton, like a quart every like less than a week. Like it's burning through oil like crazy, and there's smoke pouring out the exhaust. And I hate to say this stuff, and I hate to say especially to you guys, because I know how much of a fan and personally myself have become of the Mach 1. Like, we all love the Mach 1. It's an awesome car, and it's just a car that shouldn't see days like this, man. And I will admit, the car is not a garage beauty or garage princess like they call it. The car gets driven, it gets driven pretty hard, and even, funny enough, we found videos of the previous owner that owned the exact car, like the car that's sitting outside my house right now, which actually it's at the shop right now. Basically, the previous owner of the car did drive the car really hard. There's videos of him doing burnouts, and trust me, it was a long story how I found those videos, but it's like him doing burnouts, launches. So the car, its entire 111,000 mile life, has been driven pretty aggressively, especially by that owner, but also by me, my brother, even my dad when he would drive it. And so it's a Mustang, right? It's going to be driven hard, and I do agree with like that it's a Mach 1. You should keep it in the garage and you shouldn't drive it hard, but another part of me is like, they made this car fast, right? They made it to be like this, and I'm going off on a huge tangent or rant here, but they made a Mustang, they made it fast. Why not have some fun with it? And unfortunately, we might have had a little bit too much fun, because we either, like I said, blew a head gasket, which I don't really think it's the head gasket, actually. Our main guess right now is that the piston rings are worn or just blown or shot. And the reason being is because I actually have this sitting right here. You guys will see what I'm talking about in a second. This is a spark plug directly out of the Mach 1. Now, I replaced these spark plugs in one of my videos probably 4 months ago. And so what happened was that the Mach 1 started blowing out smoke when I was driving it. It started misfiring, and it started like kind of dying and idling really bad. And so I took it home. I went and checked the spark plugs, pulled the spark plug cover off, pulled the coils off, and looked at all the spark plugs, and they all looked pretty fine. And that Mach 1 actually had a misfire about 2 months ago, and I actually pulled one of the spark plugs and found it there. Basically, if you don't know, there's just a little gap right there, as you guys can see on the spark plug, and there was no gap. It was like smushed into itself. And so we were like, okay, we replaced the spark plug. It ran great, right? It ran fine for the next couple months, past 2 months. And then about a week ago, when this all happened, it started blowing out smoke. It was misfiring and everything. I took all the spark plugs out. They looked fine. And then I actually took this one out and checked it again. Like, not just this one in particular, but I took them all out and checked them last night. And I found this one, which was covered in burnt oil. So it's like, I don't know if you guys can see that, but it is completely, there we go. Is that a focus? I can't tell. But it's completely covered in oil, burnt oil. And so obviously we're losing oil. There's smoke pouring out the exhaust from that burnt oil. And also because obviously oil just lubricates your engine. It's not really supposed to get burned up in the combustion chamber, which that's what's happening right now for us, which is not good. And so this one is covered in oil. It's actually just this one, but also 2 more spark plugs. There was oil on the threads of the spark plug, so obviously oil is getting in there. And I actually did replace, which I forgot to say this, I was working the Mach 1 for probably the last 3 days, working on one project, which was the valve cover gaskets, which, oh my god, that was hard to do, which I know is valve cover gaskets, doesn't sound like a big project, which I was originally going to film this, but I ended up not filming it strictly because it turned into a much bigger project than I had imagined. Reason being is because I had to take the whole brake booster off and bleed the brakes and do all this stuff just to get the driver's side valve cover off. You had to take the brake booster off because it was in the way, and it just turned into a huge project, which I was going to originally film, but like I said, it just turned into something way bigger that I had to get done, and I just wanted to get done, so I kind of gave up on filming it. But so yeah, I took the valve cover off, replaced the valve cover gaskets, and I was hoping that would be the actual cause of this misfire and smoke, because I was hoping that since I was hoping also the PCV valve was bad, which is all like car talk. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, it's fine. But I was hoping the PCV valve was clogged up and the valve cover gaskets were bad. It was just a wild guess that oil was getting into the spark plugs, which was in turn getting onto the boots, like on top of the spark plug, which was covering the boots, and then the boots were causing it to misfire, and then there's also air in the intake, which I was hoping was because the valve cover was bad and whatever. Turned out that I replaced all that, I finished the project, and it did not help at all. So it's still smoking, still misfiring, and so I don't want to leave you guys hanging and not tell you guys what we're planning on doing with it, which it's actually not that bad what we're going to plan on doing, which obviously a car like this with a blown motor, whatever it is, I mean, all the rods, the pistons should be fine, but like with a car like this, when it's broken how it is, you would think like, you can look at it a couple different ways. You can be like, alright, this will turn into a really fun project. I'll be able to film, me personally will be able to film videos of us repairing it, taking apart the engine, which is obviously some of it's out of our control and out of our hands, what we can do and can't do, because we're not experts, my dad and I. But for the most part, we'll be able to do a lot of it, and we'll be able to be like, oh, making videos on it, it'll be fun. On the other hand, it's going to be very expensive. So even if we didn't go with forged internals, which is something we're considering, if we got forged internals, it would be a crazy amount of money, because we eventually do want to pro charge this car and keep it for a long time. So if we pro charge it, we'd go forged internals, rebuild the engine. It would be a ton of money. Now we also could replace it with OEM parts, which would still be a lot of money. And so right now, we're not entirely sure what we're going to do with the Mach 1, but we do plan on keeping it for sure. My brother has expressed to us, because my brother's actually back from Italy, which was really unfortunate, because once he got back, the car was broken, and I was hoping I was going to get the car detailed and everything for my brother to come back to his Mach 1 and have a lot of fun in it, but unfortunately, this all happened right before he got back. But yeah, my brother has expressed that he wants to keep the car, wants to see it have better days, and so we're going to try to either rebuild the motor or just do the piston rings. We're probably going to get a compression test to see exactly which rings are bad, but we'll probably end up replacing all of them, because it's not really a good idea to place one cylinder's rings and then not the rest, because then once those go bad, you're going to have to redo it all. So yeah, we'll probably replace all the piston rings, or just see how much damage, and assess the damage, see how much there really is, and from there, we'll see what happens. But first of all, or lastly, I guess, thank you guys for all the support and the love for this car. Trust me, I love this car too. And I'm really happy that you guys love it like I do. And I'm really happy with where this channel is going. Main reason I haven't been uploading a lot is because I've been trying to figure out, this happened about a week and a day ago. And I've been trying to figure out what I'm doing with the Mustang, because I can't make videos on it right now. It's broken. And maybe more videos will come soon on us rebuilding it or working on it. But as of right now, expect more videos soon. Hopefully you guys not really enjoyed this video, but hopefully you guys understand where I'm coming from, and hopefully the Mach 1 has better days soon. But I will see you guys later. Hopefully you enjoyed, and peace out.